Alrighty. Hello, dear friends. So I'm back again today. Today we are going to do an experimental type thing. But before I do that, I got to get a cake ready. I promised my stepdaughter I would make her a cake. So let's get that started first. So I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. 350 is what I'm going to preheat it to. I don't know why I said 375. How is everybody today? Going to preheat the oven to 350. I'm going to be making a vanilla cake with some butterscotch and chocolate chips in it, and then a butterscotch icing. So I'm going to take a white cake mix. I'm going to stick it in here. I want to get the cake on first, and then we'll start with the other stuff. So, alrighty, there's the white cake mix. Do not go by the box instructions on this one. This one is a little bit different. Okay, so then with the cake mix, I'm going to take, that's my icing. Hold on, I wrote it all down. I put it in the computer for the guy that helps me, so I don't get all mixed up. I'm going to take that, and then I have a vanilla. I have French vanilla pudding. You can use butterscotch. You can use regular vanilla. Sometimes I use butterscotch pudding in here, but today I'm going to use a French vanilla pudding. I'm going to put the pudding mix in there also. I'm going to take, and I need, I think it's like half a cup of melted butter. So let me get that out real quick. Like I said, you don't want to go by the box instructions. Okay, I need this whole, I need this whole stick here. If I can get the paper off, I need the whole stick. Lord have mercy. Alrighty. I'm going to put that up in here. Put it on for a minute. Let me put my lid on it because that does splatter. Okay, so while that's getting done, I'm going to need to get 3 eggs. Got to make sure that gets... There's 1, 2, and 3. 3 eggs. Alrighty. Oh, I think that's done. It is. Okay. I have the 3 eggs in there. Then you can either use half and half or milk. Today, I usually use half and half, but today I'm going to use milk because I have some milk to use up. I need a cup of milk. But like I said, I usually use half and half because we usually have almond milk. But I had to buy some milk for something else, so, and I don't want it to go to waste. We don't really drink a lot of milk. That just worked out perfect. All right, so there's the cup of milk. Okay. So I have a box of vanilla cake mix, a 3-ounce box of vanilla pudding. I have French vanilla in here. You can use butterscotch. I have my half a stick of butter right here. I have 3 large eggs and a cup of half and half. So I'm going to put all that in there, and I'm going to mix this up. I even winded up breaking down and buying some more mixing bowls. So, beat it for about 2 minutes to make sure it's all done. You can use a yellow cake mix. Sometimes I use a yellow cake mix and I put butterscotch pudding in it. You can use a white cake mix. It's pretty much all up to what you want to use. I'm going to rinse these off because I need to use these again. There you go. Alrighty. Put that right there. So then I got to get my butterscotch chips and my chocolate chips. Steve, can you come get this flour down for me real quick? I forgot I need a little bit of flour. Please? All right. The flour. I just need a tablespoon of flour. Just okay. So that here, Steve, you can put it right back up. Thank you. I don't need it again. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so the chocolate chips and the butterscotch chips do not sink. I put them in some flour. So I'm going to use a half a cup of each. I'm going to use a half a cup of butterscotch chips, and I'm going to use a half a cup of chocolate chips. But like I said, so they don't sink, I put them in flour. Otherwise, they'll have a habit of sinking. So I think this is only about a half a cup of butterscotch chips left. Yep. Okay. Just let me put a couple more chocolate chips in there. Okay, then I'm going to mix this up real quick. So, I can get that flour all over them. Like I said, I only do that so they don't sink. Otherwise, they'll sink to the bottom of that batter when you go to bake it. So, alrighty. Give me a spoon. Alright. That's just my oven telling me it's time. Alright. So I'm just going to get that tablespoon of flour mixed around in there like so. Like I said, you just want to coat them so when you put them in here and then they go in the oven, they don't sink. And it does sink because the first time I made this, I didn't put anything in it and they sunk right to the bottom. So then I realized if I use a thing of flour, they won't sink like that. So they're all mixed up in that flour. Okay, so now I'm going to stick them in the cake mix. And I'm just going to gently mix them into the cake mix. Okay, as such. Like I said, you don't want to over mix it either, so you just want to get it all mixed in there. Okay, then I'm going to take a 9 by 13 pan and I'm going to grease it up. Put some spray in it so we don't have it stick. Alrighty, then I'm going to put this cake mix in there. Make sure all the chocolate chips are incorporated in there. Okay. I want to make sure I got some on all of it. Alrighty. So here goes the cake mix. We're going to stick this in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. You can make a real cake mix too. Sometimes I do that also. I just didn't feel like doing it today. And I always keep box cake mixes here, just in case I want to experiment with something. So, alrighty, spread it out, and we'll get that into the oven. Okay, there goes that. Okay, next, what I want to do is I want to take, and I'm going to make my, you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to take, and we're going to do a tater tot. I'll call it a tacho, because I'm going to take some tater rounds, and I'm going to take some taco meat. I'm going to take some nacho chips and crush them up at the end. And I think I'm going to also put a little bit of Cheez-Its in it that I have up there also. As I always say, waste not, want not. Okay, so I have some tater rounds in here. I actually have some tater tots also. So, we're going to take and we're going to put it on the bottom of this baking pan. And I'm going to take these tater crispy rounds here. We're going to spread them all out as such. Make sure you have enough in here to do what you want to do. This says I wrote it down on my thing, but I want to see what this says. I didn't look at this. This says 425 for the oven for about 22 minutes. On my paper, I figured I'd do like 400, but I got this on 350, so I'm going to put it in there with this a while. What did I write on here for my... Right here it is. So I put down 400, and I just put until it's done. So we'll see. Like I said, I want to make sure I have enough of these on there. I mean, I can smash them down later on if I have to. I really didn't want to do that, but I can. But we're just, like I said, I'm experimenting. Usually I experiment and then I bring it up here. But today I figured I'd just have some fun with y'all. Like I said, we don't know how this is going to turn out. All right, so I'm going to do it like that. Then what I'm going to do is I want to make them so they get really crispy. Because I want to have it like a... So it's crispy, so I'm put the taco meat on it. So I thought what I'd do is I'd take this little bit of chipotle sauce that I did the other day. I had this chipotle sauce that I would use, I made for y'all. I thought I would take that and I'm going to add a little bit of a little bit of Cool Whip, Miracle Whip salad dressing, whatever you want to call it. And a little bit of mayonnaise in there. And mix that around. And then I'm going to brush it on top of there. So it can I can try to get it crispy. Okay. I got to use this up anyway, so. Let's see how it works out. I want to make it like a creamy chipotle now instead of a regular. But like I said, I could brush it on, you can lay it on, you can do it however you want. This is all, you could use garlic butter if you want, I guess. Next time I might try it with that. And like I said, this is all just a hit and miss thing right here. Let me get a brush. Okay, let's brush it on so that way I can make sure I can get it on all of them. Let me get it off the spoon too. All right. Like I said, I'm just trying to get them so I can crisp this up and make them nice and crispy. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some tacos, and when these are crispy, we're going to take the taco meat on top of it. The chipotle sauce we had the other day, I made that for you all the other day when I forget what I made when I made the chipotle sauce. One day I did a bunch of different stuff and I did do the chipotle sauce. I remember doing it. So, oh, when I made the burritos the other day. I just wanted to get this used up. It usually only lasts about 5 days in the refrigerator. I wouldn't try to keep it in there any longer than that. So, So I'm going to put this in the oven. And then, like I said, I'm going to get it crispy. And then we're going to take and I'm going to make some tacos. But I'm going to put it right in with this. And then when this is done, I can turn it up a little bit. It should be up at 400, but that'll be okay for now till that cake's done. So while that's in the oven, I'm going to get my taco meat started. Let me get my Cool Whip. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna get this Cool Whip so it comes to room temperature, so I can make the icing for the frosting for the cake. So let that sit out a little bit. I forgot to get that out until I was just thinking about it. Okay, so I'm gonna get my hamburger out. I do have a little bit of taco meat that I froze that was left over from another day. So I'm going to put that in there also. Wait a minute, I got something on the floor there. Okay, so let me wash my hands up. All right, so yeah, I'm going to make the taco meat now. And so I figured what I do is I do some taco meat. I would do some, I'll put this over near the stove so it gets where it's heated. I would do some, half of it maybe, some taco meat, some black beans, on half of it with some black olives, and then the rest I think I'll just leave plain. So I'll just make it with taco meat, half of it, just in case there's anybody that comes over that doesn't like the black beans and stuff. It's not all over it. So, alrighty. Let me get my hands washed again. I touched that hamburger. So I have about a pound of hamburger here. And like I said, I have some taco meat that I made up like 2 weeks ago that I'm going to put in with it. And I have a little bit of onion here I'm going to add in there. Some days I do this, I just go through and clean out the refrigerator or start finding stuff in the freezer that I need to use up. So let's get this all ground up and fried up. I have, I'm going to put a little bit of fajita blend in this while I'm at it. That's that Kinder's fajita blend. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in while I'm frying it up. Like I said, about 25 minutes, I'll check this cake out. And we'll see how that's going. So far, it looks pretty good. So, waiting to get that done. I wanted to see what this said to put it on. That says 350 also. That's what I thought. Okay. So, like I said, I got the tater tots in. I'm frying this hamburger up. And then we're going to make taco meat out of it. Didn't need a lot of it because all I want to do is put it on top of that. And then I'm going to take some nacho chips and some Cheez-Its, and I'm going to stick them in a bag, and I'm going to crush them up. But that won't be till after, at the very end, I'm going to put them on. I just want to see what concept it makes. I'm thinking of a concept like, you know, when you have tacos and then you have French fries with it. That's the kind of concept I was going for. So, but, gotta get this ground up real quick. Like I said, I put Kinders in here, and what I'm gonna do is with this, let that fry up a little bit. So I thought what I'd do is I would take the tater tots and make them, and then I'm going to take some cheese and I'm going to sprinkle it on top with some of the taco meat, and I'm on half of it. I'm going to put half of it. I'm going to on top of the taco meat. I'm going to put some black beans and some olives. I'm going to put it back in the oven for about 5 to 8 minutes, and then I'm going to crush up taco chips, and I have some Cheez-Its I'm going to crush up with it. So I'm going to crush them up, and I'm going to make a little bit of butter. I'm going to take a little bit of butter, and I'm going to put in melted butter in it, like you would do if you were taking a topping for like a macaroni and cheese or something. I'm going to do it that way, and then I'm going to take just a little bit of cheese and put in with it, and then I'm going to put that on top of it, put it back in the oven again for 3 to 5 minutes, and let that get crisped up. Then I will have some lettuce and tomato and some either salsa, taco sauce, and some other, regular cheese to put on top of it and see how it turns out. That's my thoughts. Like I said, sometimes I come up with this stuff. It doesn't make sense on why, but I just try to do different stuff sometimes. I get tired of eating the same thing over and over and over again. So this taco meat's just about done. And then I can put this in. I'm going to put some more taco seasoning in it, and some, this didn't bring any fat off of it. I got this at the butcher shop, this hamburger, so I figured it would be a better grade of. So I'm going to put this in there. All that was the taco meat that I took out of the freezer the other day. And I'm going to put some beef broth in there. I had that in the refrigerator also. Like I said, I don't like to throw anything out if I don't have to. I try to use it all. Somehow, I try to use it all. All right, so here that's gone. So I'm going to have to put more water in. I'm going to put some taco seasoning in this. I think it's supposed to be like 1/4 cup. Maybe I'll do it that way. Let me put 1/4 cup of this in there. I can't get it in there anyways. About a quarter of a cup. I'm going to put a little extra in it because, like I said, I have, it was about a pound. It might have been a little over a pound. And then I'll add a little bit more water to it. Put a little bit more beef broth in there. And then I'm going to add some water to it. Just a tad of water. I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. I'm going to let this cook for a little bit and get all that stuff there. Cake's coming along pretty well. I got to cut these olives up. I don't need a big bowl for that. I'll just take this measuring cup. So, yeah, it's cold here in Florida. I know it's colder other places. But we got a cold spell that came through. So, I'm trying to figure out what to make. And I think what I'm going to start doing is I think I'm going to start doing this 3 day. I'm doing it 4 days a week right now. I might go down to 3 days, at least for a while, until I can get some stuff. I got to figure out recipes and all that kind of stuff. So I might go down to 3 days. Like I said, right now I'm doing it Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But I think I might go to Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays, or Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, or something like that. I'm just trying to get this stuff. I'm going to put a little bit more of that fajita sauce in there. The Kinder's fajita stuff I have. Put a little bit more of that in there. All the juice, all the water's soaking up in the beef broth. It's soaking up anyway, so. Alrighty. The potatoes look good. Okay. Yeah, so that's what my thoughts are, is to go down to 3 days a week for now. Like I said, till I can get things together and ready. Because I'm struggling because I work 3 days a week to come up with some ideas of what to do. So I thought if I do it that way, that gives me 1 day to be able to sit down and think about what to make for like the next week. And then some weeks, you know, I might do it 4 days. Some weeks I might just do it 3 days. So time will tell. But just trying to cut these olives up. So I bought the whole olives. I didn't realize it when I grabbed the can. It's not the end of the world. I like black olives anyways. So I'm trying to make it like a nacho, taco kind of concept. So that's why I'm using the nacho chips has a crunchiness on the top. To try to get that concept through. This hamburger meat's done. So, cake should soon be done. And then I'll get it out and let it cool down a little bit. I have to make my icing. I'm going to put them right back in there for now. Okay. There's that. Alrighty. Let me check this. Let me stir this up so this doesn't stick. Okay. I gotta check this cake. Let's check this cake out. It's been about, I don't know, 25 minutes. I didn't really look right when I put it in. I forgot. We got a little bit to go yet. Let me turn this up a little bit. All right, so while we're waiting for that, let's get the chips. Is this about frosted? Frosted. I just need it defrosted enough that I can mix it up. Still frozen. All right. Put that over there for a minute. Alrighty, so let's get the chips crushed up. Oh, wow. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take a bag. I'm going to put some of these nacho chips in here. I don't know how many we're going to need. I'm just going to pour some in there. It doesn't matter. If I have too many, that's fine too. I don't need to put them all on. Alright, let's try it that way. I don't want a whole bunch on the top. I just want it for some crunch factor. So, I don't want a whole terrible lot on top of it. But I think I need a little bit more than that. Like I said, I'm making this up as I go. So, I mean, I wrote everything down, that concept I wanted to use. There's a lot of pieces in there. All right. So, and then on these, I'm not going to put as many in. I'm only going to put a few of these in there. Just because I got to use them up. I figure it has some flavoring for it too. I don't want as many of those though. Alright, let's try it that way. And then I'll take my rolling pin. And I'm going to crunch them up a little bit. And then I'll mix them all up. Just try to get them all crunchy. Let me move this out the way so I don't knock that knife over and cut myself. I don't want them all like dusty wise, because otherwise I would have just put it in my food processor. I do want it so it has some crunch to it. I think about like that should do. Wait a minute, there's a Cheez-It that didn't get crunched up. I do want the Cheez-Its crunched up for sure. Alright. So they're all mixed up now. So there's that. Like I said, if I need more, I can get more too. I'm trying to get these crispy. If this cake gets done, I can actually turn my air fryer on for the potato rounds. The cake's coming along pretty good here. Let me check it again. It's 4 o'clock. I'm going to leave it in there for another minute or so. And then that cake should be done. I'm going to take it out. And then I'm going to put it into the... after I take it out for a few minutes, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes to cool it down. So, sometimes I like to take a fork too and put in there and see. Alrighty. And the potatoes are coming along real well. Okay. I'm going to get ready to get this cake out. Then I'm going to make up our icing here. So for the icing, we're going to need to take have to make I'm taking butterscotch jello pudding, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to, that's why I write everything down, because every time I do this, I got to make sure I try to do it the same way. With this, I'm going to add just a half a cup of milk, because I don't want the whole thing. And it's going to be thick, because when we add in our Cool Whip, we do want it to be a mixture. Okay, I'm going to get this cake out. And I'm going to pull the rounds up to the top. I'm going to put them up on the top like so. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn my air fryer on so I can try to get them to crisp up a little bit. Okay, so the cake is done. Let it sit here a minute, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to try to chill it down a little bit. I have some buttercream that I made for a cake 2 weeks ago that I put in the freezer. I'm actually going to take half of this and mix it with this chocolate buttercream also. So that way, we'll put that on half of that cake and try it that way. Like I said, I don't like to throw anything out I don't have to throw out. I try to use everything up. I really do. All right, so I'm going to put that in there for now. Here is our, this, I need a half a cup, a half and half for milk. I'm going to use half and half. I think it is a half cup. It is. I'm going to use half and half, and I'm going to put just a little bit of heavy cream in with it. I got some heavy cream that I gotta use up. So we're gonna put this in like so. If I don't make a big old mess, that is. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stick this in with the pudding. And I'm going to mix that pudding up. I can put this back. I didn't use this for anything but to chop things. Oh, they smell good. Like I said, this will be a lot thicker because you're not using what it says to use milk-wise. All right, so there's that. So now to that, I gotta add this, which I'm gonna use in my beaters, I do believe. I gotta add this Cool Whip to that. I'm gonna add a touch of, come on. I shouldn't have pulled that out. Okay, I gotta add it, I'm just gonna add a splash of vanilla. Like so. And then my Cool Whip goes in here. This is like one of the easiest frostings to make, and everybody always likes it when you use this Cool Whip with your pudding, some heavy cream. Let me check on my, okay. So, I'm going to pull this out real quick here. Look at those. I think I'll leave them in for another minute while I do this up. And then I can just put everything on there and put it right back in. That sounds like a plan. All right, let me get this. Like I said, this I should have got this Cool Whip out earlier. Nothing hurt, but it definitely will be harder to, that's why I'm going to use this mix. That's why I'm using my mixer. I'm just going to put a dash of heavy cream in there. A dash of heavy cream in there to help it out. I don't normally use the hand mixer. I usually use my mixer with the bowl. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm gonna take the rest of it and do it by hand now. Because that butterscotch is still down on the bottom, some of it. So I'm just going to do it like this. So you can add butterscotch chips in here too. I usually do, but I don't have any more. So I have to buy more. So this one isn't going to be quite as butterscotchy as it normally is. I know Amanda loves butterscotch, but it's going to have to be okay. Okay, I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator. I want to try it to make sure it tastes okay. It tastes like butterscotch. I usually put, like I said, melt some butterscotch chips up in there, but I don't have any more today. I didn't realize that I was out, so that's okay. It'll work like that. Like I said, it tastes like butterscotch. It tastes enough of butterscotch to me. But I guess if you're a butterscotch lover, you like a lot of butterscotch. Okay, so now I'm going to get this out. And we're going to finish this up. This is all crispy. Good. Okay, let's try this. That looks really good. Look at that. I'm going to bring it over here so I can show it to y'all. Okay, see it? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some cheese and I'm going to put it right on top of this. I already shredded up my cheese. Put some cheese right on top of this. Then I'm going to take my taco meat and put on top of that. Smells good. Hope it works out because I'm kind of hungry for this. Okay, let me put this cream away. I don't want it to go bad. Okay. Now we're going to take this taco meat and spread it on top of this. As such. I don't know I'm going to need all this taco meat because I don't want to overpower it or anything. Some of it I'll just put it in a little container. And if it's not enough taco meat for you, you can just go ahead and put it on. I want to make sure I get it all, though. I just don't want those tater tots to get all soggy. Okay, let's try it like that. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some black olives and put on part of it. And some black beans. I'm going to stick on part of it. I'm not going to put it on all of it, like I said, because not everybody likes it. So I'm going to try to... All right. So I'm going to put that back in for a couple minutes. And then we'll get the topping ready while that's in there baking for a few minutes. Okay. Let me move these out the way for the moment. All right, so I need to have some more butter. I'm figuring maybe, I don't know. You know what? I have some soft butter out. I'll just use that. I'm figuring maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter should do it. Just enough that I can put, mix it in that. I want to mix it in that, in with that. I want to mix it in with the chips. I'm trying to talk and do things at the same time, and okay, that was already a little bit. That was already it was already soft, so it don't need to take a long time. All right, let's try that. All right, let me get a spoon, because when I put this in, I got to mix it right away. So, and if you don't have enough butter, use a little bit of olive oil. I'm just trying to get this so it gets like wet, so when it goes in, it can crisp up a little bit. I'm just going to put a touch of olive oil in there yet. So, see, I just want it so it's like so. Then I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of this cheese and I'm going to put in with it. And I'm going to take a pinch of cowboy butter seasoning and put in there. Okay, let's try that. Just going to mix it all up for a crunch topping. That's all it's for. Just a hair more cheese. Okay, now that's done. Okay. There's that Cheez-It that I couldn't find. It wasn't all crunched up. Drive me crazy. Oh, Lord. Let me wash my hands off. That was driving me nuts. That one Cheez-It that didn't crunch up. Alrighty. So let's get this back out. Like I said, I just want to, everything's done. I'm just trying to get them beans and stuff heated up a little bit. This oven is hot. Alrighty. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this mixture and I'm just going to lay some on top of it as such for like a crunch factor. I knew I would have too much, but that's okay. Okay. So there's the crunchy factor of it. Then we're going to put that back in so it can crisp up. Let me get some on the sides here. I don't want to get my hand all dirty again. I'm just going to take a tad more of this cheese and I'm just going to put it on top. See, because when I serve it, I'm going to serve it with cheese on it like you would a taco. So, all right, let's do it like that. Try it like that. Alrighty, let's put this back in. Then I'm going to get out my, that thing's heavy. I'm going to get out my cake. It should be cooled down enough to put the stuff on it. Oh, it is cooled down. Okay, there's the cake. I'm going to take this butterscotch icing. Now don't forget, I told you I had that chocolate buttercream that I made. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to mix some of that with some of this icing and put on half of it. I just want to see what it's going to be like. This here you would have to make sure you leave it in the refrigerator because of the Cool Whip, or it will melt. For sure. Or try to put enough on there. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little bit of buttercream that I made. Like I said, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I put it in the freezer. And I had to get it out of there. So I thought this would be a good way to incorporate it. I don't know if it'll work out or not, but hey. I'm only putting it on part of the cake. So I'm going to mix this up together. I figured it would probably taste like a chocolate butterscotch. That's what I'm thinking. Never know, it might be good. But this is the buttercream. Okay. Then I'm going to put that on here. You just never know. I got some on hers. Oh, well. Like I said, I'm just doing this to see what it tastes like. Because I don't want to make the whole thing like that. Because that chocolate buttercream might overpower that. It looks good. I love chocolate. Chocolate's my favorite. Not everybody does, but I do. Alrighty. There's that. Let me okay. Oh, hold on. That smells good. That smells real good. All right. I want to try this buttercream real quick. So I'm going to try it. That tastes pretty good. Tastes pretty good. This is still warm, so. But I want to show you that the chips didn't sink to the bottom. Because they will if you. I'm going to turn this off and let that heat finish that. Give me a plate. Alrighty. I'm just going to pull a little piece out. I got to put that back in the refrigerator. See how it did not all sink to the bottom? I'm going to take a bite of it here in a minute. Let me get this back in the fridge. The longer you let that sit in there, the better it is. But not done. What is going on with these pancakes? Alrighty. And there you have it. See, right there you can see all the chips. That's good. Very good. All right. So now that that one's done, let me get my washcloth. I got something on the counter. I don't want it done. All right. So now that that's done, we're going to take this out. There you go. A taco. Then you can have some lettuce with it, some tomato, use the lettuce and tomato and chop it up. I gotta pull this back because I can't. All right, let me do it this way. All right. Okay, there's that. Let me get some lettuce out. We don't use a lot of lettuce. So I only need a piece of this because, like I said, we don't use a lot of lettuce. Just cut the lettuce up. Okay. Lay that right there. My baggie fell on the floor. Alrighty, let me get a bowl and put this lettuce in. There's the lettuce. Let me rinse this off. Okay. Here's some tomato. I don't want to cut it all up because we ain't going to use it all. There's some tomato. Let me get a plate. And and a spatula. Put this back up there. Okay. So let me grab a little bit of this. I want a little bit that has the stuff on it. And then you can put your lettuce on there, a little bit tomato, a little bit more cheese. You can take a little salsa or taco sauce, whichever one you prefer. I'm excited to try this. And there you have it, a tacho. I'm going to try it. It's hot. I want one of those potatoes too. Right there's one. It tastes just like a taco. Just like, you probably want a knife. You've got that crunchiness with that stuff on the top, and then you have the potato. That is good. I'm amazed that's that good. Okay. So, there we have it. You want to try a bite of this, Steve?
I'll wait for some.
Here. It's, hold on.
My mouth's very big.
All right. Get it in there. There you go. Tastes just like a taco dough. All right, let's recap this real quick. Thank you. Alrighty, so what we have is, where's my papers? Right here. I'm missing the paper. We have the butterscotch cake with the chocolate chips. I used vanilla, excuse me. I used a vanilla cake mix. I used a thing of French vanilla pudding, a half a stick of butter, a half a cup of butter, a stick of butter, 3 large eggs, a cup of milk, semi-sweet chocolate chips and butter chips, and some vanilla, and then some flour to put on the chips. So I put the cake mix, the pudding mix, the milk, the melted butter and eggs in the thing, and I'm beating them all up for about 2 minutes. Then I put the chips in there. But before I put the chips in, I did toss them in some flour so they wouldn't sink. I baked it for about a half an hour at 350. Then I made and I don't know where that paper is. I made the butterscotch frosting. I took a box of butterscotch pudding. I took a half a cup of cream, half and half, and I mixed that together. Then I took a little splash of vanilla, put in it. I did stick then a tub of Cool Whip in it, mixed that up, and put that in the refrigerator. And then when the cake was cool, I put it on the cake. That's the butterscotch vanilla cake. And then I had the tachos. For the tachos, I used frozen tater tots, shredded cheese, black beans, sliced black olives, I made taco meat up, lettuce, tomato, and taco sauce. Plus, I did the chipotle sauce I had, and I put a little Miracle Whip and a little bit of mayonnaise in it to make it a creamy version. So I put the tater tots down, and then I put the chipotle, creamy chipotle on top of it. I brushed it on top. I put it in the oven and baked it, as the bag says. I think it was 400 for, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. Whatever the bag says. Then I brought it out. I took the taco meat, and I put some cheese on top of the potatoes, and I took the taco meat and put on top of that. I took a little black olives and a little bit of black beans and put on half of it, because not everybody likes that. And I put it back in for a little bit longer. Then I brought it back out, and I took some Cheez-Its and some nacho chips, and I crunched them up, and I put them in with a little bit of butter / olive oil to coat them. And then I put a little bit of cheese in with that mix, and I mixed it all up, and I put it on top. I put that back in for another about 10 minutes, so it would get, as it is right there, so it would get all crunchy. And then I took it off, and I put my lettuce, tomato, and some more cheese on it, and some taco sauce. And that's what you have. So there you go for today. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be here Thursday. I will let you know if I'm going to be. But I hope everybody has a blessed day, and thanks for coming.
Done?
I gotta stop it.